The next pencil I want to talk about is the Holbein. Now I've got here a few which I bought from open stock, and then that followed actually after I bought the Pastel Tone 50 color set, which is quite big, and I have a swatch video for this one already. I'll just show you. I have sharpened them. They come, when they first come, they have this kind of cut off tip, but I sharpened all of them and they are stunning colors. I like the fact that the set is very unique. There we go, I managed to get them in the frame. Unique in the sense of, you can't really find a pastel set of 50 colors anywhere else, or at least I'm not aware of this quality. So I just love it, and it was a nice treat to myself. And the colors are gorgeous. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick out a light color from somewhere here. Let's see, what's this one? Peach. I think there's a cinnamon somewhere as well. Did I buy it separately? What's this? Oh, their cinnamon is here, but it's a bit darker, so I'll go for a lighter color. Maybe I'll go for their cinnamon just to compare it side by side anyway. And then I've got a yellow and I've got a dark there. Okay, so I don't need to really, just wanted to show you the set, but you might, want to consider that for like a Christmas present or something. Okay, so also I should be doing a gift guide at some point soon as well. I've got nice, I think, sets to share with you. Okay, so cinnamon it is, and then I've got, for the dark color, I've got burgundy. Did we have a burgundy already? Trying to think. No, it must have been something else. And then for a bright color, I'm going to use similar to what I just used, and this is the marigold. Okay, so let me crack on with these. So Holbein, I mean, they're again beautiful, artist grade pencil. I find them great at blending. I find them great in terms of color payoff. You don't need to push hard again, and they're great. The colors, the color range that they come in is fantastic. Comparing them side by side with Polychromos, well, they're going to be a lot more comparable to Polychromos than, for instance, to Luminance. What can I say? I think they're starting to head towards my favorite pencils, which I'm going to swatch out here, which is they're feeling a little bit softer. They're not as soft as my favorite pencil, but they're not as hard as Polychromos. So they're sitting somewhere in the middle, if that makes sense. Let's do the second color, marigold. Hardly pushing again, as with all of them. Look at this beautiful color payoff. You'd almost say that I might be getting more color payoff than this. This is a very good color match. I mean, the color is almost, I think, pretty much identical, but I find that it's brighter in the Holbein, which you kind of would expect, wouldn't you? They are Japanese, if I'm not mistaken, and it seems to be like, in terms of watercolors, yeah, look at that, that's a lot brighter. And even this is a lot more intense. They seem to like brighter colors, like what's the watercolor? Mission Gold Magello, that's it. So the watercolors are superbly intense and bright. So it kind of feels to me, look at this, even burgundy. This one has more grey in there. And this one has more purple, sort of like my nails. So I think for color, they're fantastic. For the softness, for pigment payoff. And let's see the blending now. The only thing that I would see as a downside or potential downside in Holbeins is the finish. They don't layer very well. There is a limit to what you can do. I could get these colors darker, but I couldn't do with this. It comes to a point where this is very bright. You possibly wouldn't even want to get any further than that. But that is it, because it starts creating a film of sort of like a resist almost, like a waxy finish, I want to say, you know, when it has a bit of a gloss to it. And at that point, you are not going to be able to blend anything on top or lay any other colors or even get it even more intense, which you probably wouldn't want as it is already quite intense. But that's the only downside, that they get burnished very quickly, I find. But if you don't mind the burnish look and if you like your colors to be bright and intense, then Holbein is a great brand to consider for colored pencils. Again, you know, it all depends on how you like working. Now with blending, I found Polychromos easier. You can see the colors are almost identical, and I blended these two almost seamlessly. Here I struggled a little bit. Let's see if I can go over. Yeah, no, I find these more difficult to blend than the Polychromos. Okay, so that's the Holbeins. Okay, now we're down to my favorite pencils. I want to talk about the Derwent Drawing Pencil first of all, because this is what made me get to the Lightfast, which are my top favorite. Okay, so Derwent Drawing Pencil. Now this set I actually have seen first on Lindsay Frugal Crafter, I think. I'll try to put the info here. She was showing this set and I just fell in love right there and then, and it's a great set for portraits. So the colors are, you know, neutral, and this set has 24 pencils. I'll try to link everything down below. Again, this is a neat little set for a gift idea possibly. So the colors are quite unique. You're not, you know, again, something you wouldn't find within other ranges very easily. So I like that they put together 24 pencils. So first of all, design wise, I don't like the brown on these pencils, and my favorite kind of pencil design would be Holbein or the Polychromos. So that would be sort of my ideal idea, because I often keep my pencils in a glass. So I'll show you something like that, and then I want to see, you know, the pencil color. It's very easy to pick it out, whereas if I have anything like that, it's a little bit more difficult. But if I had to pick between like a wooden pencil and a dark color like this, I'd go for the wooden. So that's my personal kind of, you know, preference in terms of the style and taste, and that's all very individual. So okay, so then what we have here is what I love about them. I don't have any other pencil that has such a wide lead. I mean, compared to any other pencil, you can see how wide the lead is, and there's just so much of it, which is fantastic. I mean, look how huge these are compared to a regular pencil. And the other thing to say that is they're beautiful, they're soft. When I try these pencils, I was thinking, oh my god, I had no idea such a pencil existed. In fact, the reason I never liked pencils years and years before is because I always came across these sort of scratchier pencils, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the feeling of that, and, you know, I don't know, just didn't enjoy it. And then once I got introduced to these, I thought that my whole idea of pencils has changed. So without further ado, let's start swatching them, and I will show you there and then what I mean. I can't really color match to yellow. I don't have any yellows. Well, I have a yellow here, but it's not like an orangey yellow. It's more of a pastel, so it wouldn't be a great idea. So I want like a nudish color, which this is the nudist. Light sienna. Then I might keep what I have here already, except for I'll go for the darker here at the end. And terracotta, I'll put it back. So I'll pick the light sienna, Mars orange, and ruby earth. So let's go with that. So when I started, with the first swatch, I was converted to pencils and using them more often. These are so soft and they are just gorgeousness. The feeling is it's almost gripping, and you know when you put butter on your bread, it's that sort of satisfying spreading with the knife, and it's gripping onto the beautiful crusty bread. Do you know what I mean? This is the exact feeling I get from the drawing pencils. They're just gripping onto the paper and spreading like in a creamy, smooth way, which traditionally a pencil is always kind of dry and has that typical luminance, sound on the paper. With these, it's not. And I could go from a dark color, really kind of beautiful payoff, to the white of the paper so seamlessly and so effortlessly. And I could call myself maybe I wouldn't say beginner to pencils, but I'm not a pro for sure. And so for my level, I find these so easy to use. I don't even need to think. I don't need to adapt to them. I don't need to find what's the best way of using them or introducing them into my art. They just work. They just work. You pick up the pencil, you get full, is gratification the right word here? But you know what I mean. You just get that exactly what you want, and they deliver. So are these getting smaller? Let me just make them slightly bigger. Okay, so that was the light sienna. Next one is Mars orange. Look at that. I'm hardly pressing on the pencil, and it's just, look at all the first colors here. This color is similar to these more than obviously the yellows. So you can see the color payoff. And because of its smoothness at the end, at the full intensity, you basically cover the entire of the paper, which you can see doesn't happen with any of those. Maybe a little bit of the Holbeins, but not as much as the drawing pencils. It will completely cover the paper. You won't see any of the paper, which again, for me, that might not be for you, but for me, I enjoy that. I enjoy having that versatility of full opacity and this intense color payoff if I wanted to. I might not use it like that every time, but if I wanted to, I could. Look at that. And the fantastic thing is, it's so opaque, you don't see a single trace of paper, yet it is not glossy, and I probably could still build on top of that. Let's just have a look if I go with a lighter pencil over it. Yeah, you can still do that. So that's amazing, I'll go back to the color. And there I am back to the color. It's fantastic. The formula is like nothing out there, I'm telling you. Okay, let's go for Ruby Earth. Did I tell you this was Mars Orange? And then Ruby Earth for this one. It's a good match here, so let's see. Hardly, I'm so holding it so lightly, there's hardly any pressure. And then now I'm going to go in and really burnish it, or trying to burnish it, but it's not doing that. So there you go, look at that compared to all the others. Isn't that incredible? Yet if you wanted to have that pencil effect, there you have it. Okay, so, and these are the Derwent Drawing. Oh, hold on, I forgot to do this bit here. So I find they blend seamlessly. There you go. One goes into the other without even... Can you see that on the camera? Let me see. So I'm just going to build it up just a touch more. I think then you can see the blending a little bit better. Whereas building it up with others, I think I tried over here or here, I can't remember now, it doesn't really change that. It just goes darker but sort of the same. Look at that beautiful seamlessness. I'll bring it up a bit closer so you can see. Okay, so let's talk about my all-time favorite pencils. Lightfast Derwent.